All right, guys, welcome back to Culture EXE, and I've got another good one for you today. This time we're talking about finance mistakes. I will probably post my other video earlier that talks about how everyone, or a lot of the population, are struggling with bills, just period. So it is interesting to try and watch a video about saving money when people can't even afford their bills. But let's get into it. See what this guy has to say here.
Mistakes I made in my 20s and how you can learn from them. Number one, not having a concise budget and spending too freely. So many people act as if the money is sitting there, that it's available, and they spend away. And that's what I did. The goal here is to put away 15 to 20% of your net monthly income and let it compound and grow.
Now, that is easier said than done for sure, right? Most people, I don't know if I would use the word most, a lot of people, they just want to pay their bills right now. So the idea of setting money aside, 15 to 20% that is a pipe dream. That's not even, I mean, if you watch my previous video, I mean, people have credit card debt they can't even pay. People are dipping into savings. So the idea of even putting anything aside is pretty unrealistic right now, but it is what you should be trying to do. Should be your long-term goal. He's talking about his 20s. I mean, he's preaching to, I'm just like most people. Kind of able to save money now, but when I was in my 20s, there was no way. I was just trying to get by. So, see what else he has to say.
Number two, letting lifestyle creep get in the way and not automating my investments like I should have. You have to have velocity on your money, and I made the mistake far too often that the more I made, the more I spent.
Yeah, I mean, most people are going to do this. They're going to get the new car, they're going to get the new upgrade, and they're going to buy a new house. Well, they may buy a house. I don't think most people would. I guess some people would buy a new house if they made a lot more money. But really, I would say it's the car. The car is probably the number one on this, right? Um, they've been driving this car for so long because then they finally going to go get something they really want. I did this same thing, but I at least recognize if you do this that it is not smart, right? Like I had an old Versa I drove and I technically could afford a car payment. The Versa was paid off and I should have kept the Versa because the Versa would have lasted another probably 4 or 5 years. I don't know if you guys know what a Versa is, like the small ass Nissan thing was terrible. But I mean, it got me around. But I really was just tired of it, wanting a new car, and I went and bought a Civic Si that I drove for a long time. But I knew that I shouldn't do that because I had a car that ran, but I was just tired of driving it. So, and again, I was in my mid 20s, but it wasn't like the car. It's funny as I say that the car payment was like $300 a month. People are like, oh, it's not that bad. People are paying $800 a month. I mean, that's the big problem is people are going out and buying a car. It's $800 a month for them. That's just going to kill you. This was at least reasonable. I could have opted not to do that and had no car payment and just saved that money. Didn't do it. Like I said, I'm preaching to myself over here while watching all these videos with you guys.
This can't happen. You have to live within your means, and that starts by having a proper budget. Number three, buying depreciating assets versus cash flowing ones. I'm talking motorcycles, jet skis, and Rolexes. Pro tip, always buy the cash flowing assets first so they can pay for your toys. Your goal should always be to invest early and often and let your profits compound. So take these three.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you got the extra money, don't waste it on dumb stuff. Try and set it up. At least have it in an interest-bearing bank account, like a decently, or buy treasuries or something that yield have like at least a 4% yield. But if you don't have money, this is way out in the future, hopefully for you guys. But yeah, I made the same mistake. So he's kind of. I mean, you guys probably all heard this stuff. But what's next? Let's see what this guy's mistakes were.
In their early 20s that set them back financially later on in their 30s and beyond. Mistake number one: after you graduate college and you get your first job and you get your first paycheck, do not go out and buy a car that you cannot afford.
I waited to buy my car probably 5 years, but I did eventually buy it. And then I drove that Civic until basically like I had to replace it. I either had to put a bunch of money into the Civic or I had to get a new car. And I opted just to get the new car, right? It cost me like three. I could have put 3 grand into it, but that car, I didn't really want to. It was time to move on from that thing. I did love that car though.
So, for example, if your first job out of college, you're making
Yeah, I love it. It was Civic Si. It was like lower. It had some other stuff on it. It was really, it looked, I liked it. It looked cool. But yeah, it was just a Civic, guys.
70K, do not go out, get a car loan on a 50K car. Because on that $70,000 salary, you cannot afford that $50,000 car, no matter how low the car salesman can break your payments up into. Ideally, you buy a gently used car that's roughly worth
Yeah, the Civic I bought was 20,000. I think they gave me four for traded value with the Versa, so I financed 16. Yeah, that's the other thing. People buying a $50,000 cars. Even I am not living paycheck to paycheck. I'm pretty comfortable. I am not rich. And the car I replaced the Civic with was 27,000, 27.5, 20, somewhere in that area. I can't remember the exact price. And I had a huge down payment for it. So it's like the people that are spending, I can't imagine $800 car payment. I just couldn't. I don't like a $300 car payment. And my car is almost paid off. So yeah, this is massive mistake. Buy used unless you are really rich and like the price of your car needs to be just a fraction of really the money in your bank account. It shouldn't even be what your monthly income is. Like in order for me to buy a $50,000 car, I think I would need a half a million in the bank just sitting or some in assets making money or whatever. Like in general, 50,000, $500,000 of cash. Yeah.
$15,000 or below, and you drive that car until you have more money later on in life, and then you can get the car that you really want to drive. The average car payment in the US today is roughly around $730. And trust me, you do not want to be strapped with a $730 car payment right after you graduate. I am a millionaire and I still drive a Hyundai Sonata. The other mistake that I see people making is renting a bedroom that they should have no business renting in the first place. When you're young, ideally you have roommates, or even better, you live at home. One of
So when I was living paycheck to paycheck, I mentioned this a couple of different videos. I did have my buddy living with me. I rented my room out, and that was actually one of the points where I was like, I got to do something to fix my life because he ended up moving back home to save money. And that was lost income for me. So I was like, I was already struggling when he was living there, and then I was like really struggling. So it's just like you got to have roommates, live at home at this point too. Like the way the everything is going right now, if you can live at home, like you got to take advantage of that and be smart about it. Like make sure you are not taking that for granted. Improve your month to month, improve your income, save money if you can.
one of the biggest expenses that you're going to pay in your lifetime is your living or housing. Don't rent that $2,000 one bedroom apartment by yourself. Instead, find a room within a home, rent one for $1,000, and then put the extra $1,000 you saved into investments.
Yeah, smart. Unfortunately, it just depends on your age. If you're in your 20s, this is fine. If you're in your 30s, man, you don't want to be doing this shit. I really don't enjoy living with people I don't know very well. Like I really have to know someone well to live with them. So just randomly renting rooms, rough. Even just living with people in general is tough. I mean, I think a lot of people like are fine with it. You know, I've always liked. I should say I learned to live alone for a while, but things are going pretty good now for me right now. But yeah, most people don't want to live with strangers.
Trust me, you'll thank me later when you're my age at 33 because you'll have significantly more money. All right.
All right. Yeah, so I mean he's just wrapping that up, yeah. Try to reduce, reduce your expensive and try and save it. The problem is most people are going to reduce their income and then spend the money. That's what's going to happen, right? I mean, everyone's going to go buy stuff they want and go buy that car, right? Someone's going to get a roommate, save $1,000 a month, then go buy a new car. That's probably what they're going to, not going to save it. Most people are not going to save it, but we should try to. Anyways, the last thing I want to end on here is Kevin O'Leary. And he
It's the
just
number one
really,
thing.
he really touches on something that um, I think is so important because like I had to learn the hard way. And luckily I was aware enough in my 20s not to make a massive mistakes. If you watch my other video, you'll see like one girl is just not able to pay her credit card bill, so it's sitting with no making no payments and just stacking interest on it, huge interest rates, and it's just destroying her, right? She's gonna end up probably having to file bankruptcy at a young age to get rid of that. But I don't know, Kevin O'Leary talks about a very practical solution.
Thing that young people get wrong when it comes to finances.
We teach young people everything. Geography, reading, math, sex education. We don't teach them about investing. The average salary in America is $52,000. And if you put aside 10% of what you get paid, by the time you're 65, you'll have $1.2 million in the bank. Nobody teaches them that. So a lot of people in America end up at 65 with nothing in the bank, no investments, nothing for retirement.
What do you
Costco is the
Yeah, I mean, why we don't teach that? It's like one of the most important things you can teach, right? I mean, we are taught so many things, but we do not teach people just the general things of life like budgeting and trying to save and not overspending and then hopefully investing. But it really needs to change because a lot of people are learning the hard way. They don't understand student loans when they take out student loans. They don't understand like what that, I mean, you cannot forgive student loan debt. There's no way bankruptcy does not get rid of it. So people are presented with this at a young age and they make this decision that they're stuck with debt. Now, I have student loans. I knew exactly what I was getting into. I knew I was probably paying on my student loans forever, but I always knew that certain student loans have yeah, they have they have fixed interest rates. They can't go too high, so you're not going to get crushed. There's other ones that don't do that. They will go really high. But my interest rates on my student loans are like 2 or 3%. I don't mind paying that. That's fine. That's a fine. I would rather not have that, but I have 2 degrees. One was fully on student loan. The other one was partially on student loans. And to me, it's worth it. But people are not taught this. People go to college out of state and pay triple to the 3 times tuition that you charge for out of state students, and they rack up $80,000, $100,000, and it's like you're not going to pay off. It's just too much, and people just don't. They're just not taught this, and they really need to be. Like someone needs to sit down. They need to just. I don't even know if they'd listen. I don't know if they'd listen, but I don't know. It's worth a try. Anyways, guys, appreciate you guys checking out the video. If you liked it, follow, leave a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time.